being brave is not the same thing as being shameless. Being brave is to solve a problem of yourself by overcoming your fear. Being shameless is overcoming your fear for no reason, just for the sake of overcoming your fear. For example, I am afraid to talk to people in a party. Talking to people is an appropriate thing, is an okay thing to do in a party. So if I'm afraid of that, then it makes sense for me to challenge myself to overcome my fear so that I can make some friends in a party. In another case, I am also afraid of stripping all my clothes down and run naked on the street. I'm very afraid of that. But the thing is, running naked in the street, first, is not appropriate. It will get me arrested. Second, why? Why would I run naked on the street? I can see no reason why I would do it other than overcoming my fears. But remember, overcoming your fear is always for a specific purpose, and that is called brave. Overcoming your fear without any specific purpose is being shameless. And it's important because in trying to make more friends as introverts like us, especially international introverts, which adds another layer of obstacles and hardships, it's important to understand sometimes you're being brave and other times you're being shameless. Once I saw a YouTube series of a very rebellious group, a very special group that claimed that their stuff works because it's so different from everybody else's. They would have their coaching program and all of their students, they would ask their students to go on the street at daytime where everyone's just walking around and crossing, and they would ask their student to speak to the sky out loud with no one, to just speak out loud what they've learned in their classes today. So you would just see guys that goes on the street, stand beside the road, and start talking to no one very loudly to say, I learned that social skill is gathered through courage, and because I'm speaking like this, that would make me so many friends. And everyone just looking at them and thinking that they're very weird. They claim that this exercise will help you because it will not make you self-conscious and scared anymore to talk to other people. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was the greatest idea in the world. I thought, oh, finally, I found the key to solve my introvert problem. Is to be shameless. Is to be okay with doing such bizarre and inappropriate thing, very crazy like this, talking on the street to no one. And so I started doing it. I started holding my phone with me and go around my school's campus while everyone's just out there and walking. And I would start making vlogs and talking very loudly on the street, just like this. I'm not in a private space, of course, but I used to do this on the street. And then that became easy. At first, it was very, very scary. My heart would pump so much blood into my brain and it would explode. So much nervousness. It's like I'm going to my SATs. But slowly I got used to it. But I'm still not making friends. So I thought, this must not be enough. I need to do something that is more bizarre than this one, so I'm not afraid anymore. So I have less and less fear. And then I thought of something even better. I will start screaming in the street where everyone's watching me. I would first do a controlled scream, such as, It's very late at night, so I can't do it so loud. Maybe I'll show you someday. I just go on the street. and ask my friend to record me to do a scream. Sometimes it feels pretty good, but I was doing it with the goal of making friends. Because I think that if I don't have fear, I would be able to go talk to anyone with complete confidence, and that would make me friends. So I started screaming in the street. First, it was controlled, then it was just uncontrolled, hellish scream. Ah! Well, some of the most scary moment in my world. Just a kid with no reason suddenly screaming on the street and everyone looking at me in terror. I didn't make more friends as a result of that. I still have the same number of friends. I'm still the same in social situations. I still can't talk to people in parties. So I thought, more. Now, you know what? I'm gonna speak embarrassing things in public. And I'm not gonna say what those embarrassing things was because I never got to do it, because I found that, hey, this is getting out of control. That's when I discovered that I was being shameless and not brave by doing those crazy things on the street and thinking that it would make me confident, it would make me charismatic. It didn't. It simply made me more weird, being okay with being weird. And that wasn't my goal. And I believe that it isn't your goal to be weird, isn't it? Your goal is to make more friends. Your goal is to be respected, to be confident that everyone will like you, not dislike you, because you're not afraid of anything, right? Really, we put such a positive emphasis on I'm not afraid of anything. Well, what if a person isn't really afraid of anything? Well, he would walk on the street naked. He would sing birthday songs and ride on a skateboard and yell to people. If any of you played the famous game GTA 5, if you're really not afraid, you'd be Trevor. And do you think you want to be Trevor? I don't, and you probably do not too. If you don't know who Trevor is, look him up. Look up a YouTube video, Trevor Phillips GTA 5 clip. You will see what I mean. So the central idea of today is that I finally realized I was going in the wrong direction trying to chase friends. If I started saying embarrassing things in public and I got okay with that, what's the next step? I would say even more crazy things, and eventually, you know what's waiting for me? I would get into trouble, or I would become a totally crazy guy who is just out of this world. I mean, when I say I scream on the street and I'm okay with it, you probably can relate to that, can't you? Right? I challenge you, go out right now, go into the crowd and start screaming. You probably cannot. I bet that 97.5% of you cannot do what I just said. Just go scream in public. No. It simply made me more weird. It simply made me more unrelatable. And then, that's when I found the difference between being shameless and being brave. I was just getting rid of my fear for no purpose whatsoever other than being good with fighting against my fear, when what I should have done is to work on the things that will get me where I want to go, such as talking to people in parties. That I'm afraid of, and so I would do that. No one would say that that's a bad thing because it is an appropriate thing to do. Whereas screaming in public, well, I've gotten into no trouble doing it. It isn't really an appropriate thing to do that, right? I realized that I was being a bother in public. I was scaring a lot of people, and that didn't make me feel good. And frankly, it didn't really get me what I wanted, which is just friends and attention. There are better ways to get attention, such as talking to people with a smile, talking to them politely, being interesting without being weird or offensive, without making a fool out of yourself. Just being an interesting person who is also respected by other people. That is a direction. That is a direction that I think all of us wants to go into, isn't it? So in today's lesson, we went over the difference of shameless and brave. Try to teach this knowledge to your friend so you have a better understanding of it. And remember, if you're trying to work, you might fall into the trap of choosing shamelessness over bravery. Be careful because those things are very different. Just remember me, the image of me screaming on the street, and you'll know why it wouldn't get you what you want. And that is what I want to talk to you about today.